Hi everyone, very good morning and welcome back to Crack Grade B. So let's start the class. We'll just wait for a second. Yes. So we were talking about the auditors and now we have to talk about more about them. There are a few more things that are left over here, so we'll be discussing those. Okay. First of all, let's talk about the rotation of auditors. Rotation of auditors means you have to keep changing your auditors, right? You cannot employ the auditors more than 2 terms. If it is a firm of auditors, then you cannot employ them for a term of more than 2 terms of five years. That means the 10 years. So like that, there are limitations on the employment of the auditor. Fine. So rotation of auditor is applicable on to which type of companies? Let's see. So first of all listed companies applicable. Unlisted public company which is having a paid up share capital of 10 crores or more and borrowings from the financial institutions of 50 crores or more. So these are the requirements. Okay. Company, listed company and unlisted company. I am hoping that all of you understand what does a listed company mean. Listed company means a company which is listed on the stock exchange. Fine. And unlisted public company which has not been listed on any recognized stock exchange in India. So this has been the criteria. After that we have the private company. So private company having a paid up share capital of INR 50 crores or more, right? Number one thing. And then borrowings from financial institution banks of INR 50 crores. So such kind of companies, the application of rotation of auditor is applicable, right? Rotation means you have to keep changing, you have to keep rotating. Once you have employed a auditor for a particular period of numbers, after that you will have to employ them separately. That means there should be a cool off periods. Okay. Yes. Now let's talk about the type of auditors and what are the requirements that we are talking about. Fine. So if the auditor is an individual auditor and if the auditor is a firm of auditors. See what a firm of auditor means, that let's say 6-7 auditors, they combine themselves in a firm, in a partnership sort of firm. So we have the different provisions for individual who is an auditor and separately for a firm of auditors, right? So the retiring auditor, including the auditor in the same network, shall not be reappointed for more than a one term of 5 years. That means if you have appointed an individual auditor, then please do not appoint more than the one term. One term of 5 years. What we are saying is 5 सालों की एक term होती है, ठीक है? You can appoint for a maximum period of 5 years. Once the 5 years have elapsed, after that what you have to do, you have to ensure that there is a cooling off period. That means suppose I have employed someone as an auditor from 2021 till 2026, right, for a 5-year period. Okay. Now after that I will have to wait from 2026 till 2031. That means for the next 5 years I cannot appoint the same person as an auditor. Same person को as an auditor मैं वापस appoint नहीं कर सकती. This is called as the cooling off period. 5 years from the completion of the initial term. ठीक है? Next, see, if the auditor is a firm, अगर आपके auditor जो है वो एक firm है, तब क्या provisions रहेंगे? So the retiring auditor shall not be reappointed for more than 2 terms of initial 5 years. So for a firm of auditor, because there are so many auditors coming together, we have allowed a relaxation. What is the relaxation? So the total period can be 10 years, right? 2 terms of 5 years, 5 plus 5, that is 10 years. If you have a firm of auditors that is working for you, that is doing the audit for you, you can employ them for a period of 10 years. Okay. And next, once they complete their 10-year period, after that there will be a cooling off period of 5 years, right? That means once they have completed the block of 10 years, after that give a 5-year rest, and then you can employ the same auditors. Meanwhile, it is not the case that you will not appoint any auditor, right? Audit has to be done continuously, but the matter of the fact is that you will not appoint the same person as the auditor. This is what we are calling as the rotation of auditors, right? Now the next provision is the removal before the expiry of the term, right? If you want to remove the auditor before the expiry of the term, then first of all the board resolution will be passed, right? And then the application needs to be made to the central government. So here you have to understand that there is a security of tenure provided to the auditors. What does security of tenure means? That means कि ऑडिटर को आप ऐसे बिना ऐसे ही नहीं हटा सकते. फाइन, you have to take the permission of central government. Why? Because sometimes it happens that companies remove the auditors. Why? Because they are not acting as per the wishes of the management or shareholders. They are just reporting the truth. Okay, they are just reporting the truth. So sometimes auditors are punished for their truthfulness. Correct? So in order to remove that thing, we need to take an approval from the central government. This is the thing that I wanted to explain. Now let's talk about who's eligible. So who can be appointed as an auditor of a company? That is what we need to know. So a person shall be eligible for appointment as an auditor of the company only if he is a chartered accountant. That means if a person is a CA, then he will be appointed as an auditor, right? A firm where majority of partners are practicing in India, they are qualified as an appointment. Where a firm including an LLP is appointed as an auditor of the firm, only the partners who are CA, they shall be authorized to sign. Suppose there is a firm that there are 10 partners in that particular firm, right? Out of these 10 partners, 7 persons are CA. So this is not mandated that all the 10 partners should be CA. Even if the 7 persons are CA, then that firm is eligible to be appointed as an auditor, right? But we need to ensure that the audit report will be signed by only the persons who are CA, okay? Next is the disqualification of auditor, and now let me tell you, this is in excess, right? This is in excess means this is not very required for you guys, but still I have included it in order to give the completeness to the topic, right? So please understand this, that in your examination very basics of audits will be asked, right? So basics of audit covers all of that we have already seen, but we'll see this just on a glance, right? So that you should not have the idea that okay, we have not studied disqualification. So that is also really very important. And let's just talk about disqualification of auditor, right? A body corporate other than the limited liability partnership registered. So a company is not eligible to be an auditor. Who can be the auditor? Either the individuals or partnership firms or LLPs, right? Not a body corporate. Officer employee of the company cannot be an auditor, because why? They are under the employment of the company. They will never act independently. So that is why officer or employee of the company are not allowed. Person who is partner, employment of an officer of the employee of the company. Suppose there is an employee of the company, so any partner of that employee will also not be eligible to be an auditor. Fine. If you are holding any security or interest in the company, right? Your relatives may hold up to 1 lakh, but you should not be holding the security or any kind of financial interest in the company. The auditor should not be indebted to the company in excess of 5 lakh rupees, right? You should not have taken any sort of loan, has not given any guarantee इन एक्सेस ऑफ 1 लाख, 1 लाख तक की तो गारंटी आप कंपनी के मैटर में दे सकते हो, बट उससे ज्यादा नहीं दे सकते. सो इफ एनी पर्सन हु हैज गिवन द guarantee more than 1 lakh rupees, he shall not be appointed. In most of the cases, normally the company appoints such persons who are totally independent, who are not having any relation whatsoever with the company. Why? Because the independence of the auditor is the very much required, right? Person or a firm, whether directly or indirectly, which is in business relationship with the company, so he will also not be allowed. Any sort of business relationship, it is not allowed. Whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company, right? So if I want to become the auditor of ABC Limited, but if my brother is a director in ABC Limited, then I will not be allowed. Okay? Then I will not be allowed. Now a person who is in full-time employment elsewhere, right? So there is a limit. Yesterday also I did tell you about there is a limit on the audit, right? So you cannot be the auditor of more than 20 companies other than one person, dormant, small companies and private companies which are having the paid up share capital less than 100 crores, right? So this 20 companies limit is apart from these. So can I say that 20 companies limit is for the bigger companies, ठीक है, बड़ी companies के लिए हैं. Your small company, dormant company, OPC company, one person company means normally we need at least 2 persons to start a company, but we have a separate provision that one person company can also be formed, right? And private companies which are having the paid up share capital of less than 100 crores, you can do the audit of these companies. They will not be counted under the limit of 20 persons. You should not have been convicted by the court which involves the fraud and a period of 10 years has not elapsed, right? So first of all, you should not have been convicted by the court in case of fraud. और suppose अगर 2022 में आपको सजा हो जाती है fraud के केस में, if you get punished in the 2022 in case of the fraud, then you will have to wait till 2032. For the next 10 years also there will be a disqualification and you will not be eligible, right? अगले 10 साल के लिए भी disqualification होगा और आप eligible नहीं होंगे. And next is a person who directly indirectly renders any service under section 144. So section 144 की services क्या हैं? Like bookkeeping services, account maintaining services. So a person cannot be both, right? At one place he is maintaining the accounts and at the other place he is doing the audit. You cannot do both. That is not allowed. After that, we have the remuneration of the auditor. So for first auditor, who fixes the remuneration? Board of directors fixes. And for the subsequent auditor, who fixes the remuneration? So you see, actually I'll tell you what. Sole proprietorship is not registered under the Companies Act, but the concept of OPC, that means the one person company, has been brought to support such persons who want to have a company form of organization. Suppose I am a sole proprietor, I started a business, but I want that I should be having a company form of organization, but I am not able to find a like-minded partner, or I do not want to have any another member. So your Companies Act provides the provision of OPC where you will be a single member. Okay? There are other facilities and other amenities also given to the OPCs, one person companies, but that will go out of our discussion, like it will go beyond our discussion parameters. So we'll not discuss that, but yes, there is a provision of OPC. You can find it similar to sole proprietorship, but the Companies Act provisions are applicable under the OPC. ठीक है? For subsequent auditors, who appoint subsequent auditors? Members appoint, right? We did talk about it. See, audits are of various types. ठीक है, बहुत तरीके की audit होती हैं. Like we have cost audit and secretarial audit. I have covered in notes as well. So I'll tell you. This is called as statutory audit. Statutory audit का मतलब क्या कि आपको एक्ट ने कंपल्सरी किया है, it has been mandated by the Act, Companies Act 2013, that you have to do the audit of your accounts. For whom it is mandated, we have seen listed, unlisted, private companies, we have seen the criteria. Okay, so for them it is statutory audit. Statutory audit will be conducted by whom? CAs. Okay, after that you will see the concepts of cost audit as well. Cost audit is just checking the cost records. Okay, that audit needs to be done by CMAs. Okay, so that has got a separate provision. Then you have secretarial audit. Secretarial audit means whether the compliance with rules and regulations have been done or not, की गई है या फिर नहीं. That is done by whom? That is done by CS. Apart from that we have another audit called as GST audit. ठीक है, GST वो आपका सिर्फ GST related matters check करते हैं. So in case of GST audit, who can do the audit? So CA can also do, CMA can also do, right? So for different audits, different eligibility criteria are. These are the basic, as well as you can see, you will heard only these kind of audits. There are other audits as well, but not mandatory sort of, right? So yes, so audit done by auditors, that is a big thing, right? And audit done by chartered accountants, that is a small part of it. I hope you understand. अभी समझ में आया? चलिए ठीक है. तो subsequent auditors, who will appoint, give the remuneration to subsequent auditors? So it will be fixed in the general meeting. That means the shareholders will fix. After that, there are some duties that yes, you have to report all the matters, right? You have to report on the truth and fairness. If there is any fraud, right, where the amount involved is above than 1 crore or above, right? If you as an auditor you find that there is any sort of fraud going on and the amount involved is more than 1 crore, then you will have to report the matter to the central government. Okay, now after that we have the cost audit and secretarial audit as well. So what does cost audit mean? See, every business maintains the cost record. Suppose I am manufacturing a product, I am manufacturing a biscuit, fine. So that biscuit, I would like to know that what is the costing of my biscuit. If I am selling that biscuit for 10 rupees, what is the cost I am incurring to make that biscuit, right? कॉस्ट क्या लग रही है उस बिस्किट को बनाने के लिए. So that's why cost records are necessary. Apart from that, there are some industries, there are some sectors for which maintaining of cost records has been mandated by the government. So all such things we will see over here. Central government may, by order in respect of companies who are involved in the production of goods or providing of the services, it can prescribe that you have to maintain the records for the material, labor utilization, etc. Right? Now, who's going to done the audit, cost audit? So, a cost accountant, also known as the CMA, who has to perform this particular audit, right? He will be appointed by the board of directors. Now, see, there are two different requirements. Two different requirement means, first of all, who has to maintain cost records? पहली thing, किसको cost record maintain करने हैं? And just understand this. This is the maintenance of cost record. Fine. Now it is not necessary that everyone who has to maintain cost records has to do cost audit as well. What did I say? So it is not mandatory that every company that has to maintain cost records has to perform cost audit as well. There are some companies which have to do the cost audit, right? So there are different criteria for maintaining cost records and applicability of cost audit. Let's just see this. So companies who are engaged in the production of specified goods or services, category A and B. See, category B, there are almost 35 plus industries. Category A, there are 6 industries. So I have included the category A, but category B, you do not have to go that much far because that is not needed for you. Now, having an overall turnover from all its products and services. If these industries having an overall turnover from all its product and services for 35 crores or more during the immediately preceding financial year, they have to maintain the cost records. Micro, small, medium enterprises, they do not have to maintain. Foreign companies who having only liaison office, they do not have to maintain. Okay. Next is the applicability of cost audit. There are 6 industries